People are claiming that the label is trying to sabotage JK's career. We need to talk about that. Jimin also admits that things have been pretty tough, and then we also have a post getting deleted and what that's about. So dumplings and safe to say, let's get into it. This post getting deleted has gotten the community super riled up and kind of funny and sad at the same time. Not sure why, but if you're not aware, the BTS members are notoriously known. I mean, like pretty much every single one of them is notoriously known for posting something and then very quickly deleting it after. So much so that the community, when they see a picture, whether they feel like it will get deleted or not, they will screenshot it immediately because they feel like there's a big chance that it could be. Well, that happened again recently, and this time it was with RM. He posted his picture of him sweating, presumably after a workout or maybe after a dance practice, and people were freaking out about it because, of course, seeing a sexy man sweat is sexy. I don't know exactly what the appeal is, but also at this point, the members should be aware that even if they post something for like half a second, it's probably still going to go viral anyway and probably become even bigger than if they had just kept it up. Because now it's taboo. Now people are going to be wondering what the photo is, and the photo is more likely going to make headlines due to the reaction that the photo got, rather than if the photo was just there and the members acted like it wasn't a big deal. However, maybe RM was aware of this and he wanted the attention for this photo, and he knew that deleting it would get more attention. Now RM did repost some photos, but I don't know if he reposted any photos on his story because those photos were not part of the conversation and said people were just talking about this deleted photo, but he did do a photo dump on his main feed. This is something that after 24 hours would not go away. People can see it at any time unless he deletes it. Now, people were confused because in this photo dump, he didn't include the photo that he deleted. So people were definitely wondering why he deleted that photo. And then some people came to the conclusion of, oh, he probably maybe before initially wanted to officially post it on his feed. So he didn't want to take away the element of surprise by posting on a story first, and he just wanted to drop it on his feed, so he deleted it. However, it was never included in the feed pictures. But he did include a picture of his feet, which I thought was kind of funny. But I think this will be remembered in the Hall of Fame of pictures that the boys like to delete. And yes, there is such a category that people have where it's just all of the deleted photos. Also, I think it's interesting if the boys ever decide to turn this whole thing into a marketing stunt by posting the cover of their latest single or their album or whatever, and then like 2 minutes just deleting it and then seeing how the album will almost blow up even more. Or maybe this picture was for a single or something. We have no idea because we have no context to what that picture meant, why he deleted it, and what it was for. Now, something recently did happen with JK and Jimin with the members that have left the military. So if you're not aware, Jin and J-Hope are out of the military now. JK and all the other members that are enlisted couldn't actually be there during J-Hope's release ceremony. However, they of course still wanted to take a moment to talk about him or congratulate him or say something. Also, they likely don't want to seem like they are haters online, so they probably want to make sure that they are verbally, publicly saying something as well. JK made sure to leave a comment on Weverse, congratulating J-Hope and Jin and saying a bunch of funny things. JK said that since both of them were out already, he hopes that they both live happily and maybe do whatever they want to do. He specifically mentioned that they worked very hard and that they deserve this break that they have now. Of course, JK didn't hesitate to add how many days that he and Jimin have left in the military. Jimin then responded saying, "Let's have strength." People took this as him admitting that it's been really tough and that maybe they're struggling a little bit, but they will have strength to make it through the next milestone and then hopefully be done with the military. This was really great for everyone to hear because I think a lot of people just assume that the boys are okay or that they naturally even wanted to do this because this is kind of what they've told us. Of course, they have to say that they want to do it, and I'm sure that in their heart they actually do believe that they want to or should do this, but it's good to hear that it's a struggle for them as well, because that's just a very human thing to have, which is a struggle. Being in the military, potentially waking up early, fighting and working out, doing that all the time, it's not the easiest thing to do in the world. But aside from that, the psychological aspect of it is a little bit different for them. there was a huge psychological aspect in the military to begin with. First off, you're convinced, or you're trying to be convinced, that you're a unit and that your individual self doesn't really exist. This is, at least to my knowledge, and I'm saying it pretty bluntly, it's probably not the nicest way to say it, or potentially even the most accurate, but this is what I'm aware of. I hear stories of people that I know coming from the military saying things like they didn't feel like they had privacy, or they didn't have much being in the military, and this was essentially to mold each of them into the same type of person. Of course, then you have these celebrities that are coming in that are super successful, super artistic, super creative, and they thrive off of being themselves. That's the whole point of why they're super successful. And they have been taught from a very young age, or at least when they got famous, that in order to be successful, you have to be very different from everyone else. However, when you're in the military, it's not best to stand out, and you'll get in trouble if you do. This, of course, can kind of be tough for any creative person to deal with. But even aside from this, it's difficult to not work on the thing that you love, and to not work on music or talk to the fans that you really love. And I truly believe that this is the fight that they're dealing with every single day. This is the part that's really tough. It's not really seeing the community that loves them, and not really seeing their friends and family as much as they would like. Of course, while they're dealing with some of that, some of the people in their community, their supporters, have been fighting a war, and that's been really interesting. So there have been some new updates on an older story, particularly the story that we're talking about is JK at the Super Bowl. So to give a quick recap to what's going on with this, people were very disappointed when Usher did the Super Bowl performance and JK wasn't there. So I think something tipped them off, and I can't fully remember what it was. Maybe Usher was just dropping hints that JK would be there, or someone was dropping hints that Usher might do standing next to you. It's not unheard of for an artist to perform the song that they are featured in at the Super Bowl or at a big performance, but it's not usually as common as you would think. Typically, artists want to just feature the song that they've made and not a song that they've been featured in for such a performance, like a Super Bowl where it's supposed to highlight them. However, a lot of people made the assumption that JK was supposed to be there, and they were upset when JK wasn't. And a lot of people even blamed Usher for it. So fast forward many, many months later, Usher had an opportunity to speak during a magazine interview, and he talked about how JK was actually supposed to be there, but JK turned it down, and due to his mandatory military enlistment. Now, there were people who were very upset that he had to enlist, and people were blaming the military. A lot of people were blaming the label for trying to push a reunion so that JK was forced to enlist right away, even though he didn't have to enlist yet. And now this has actually evolved into people saying that the label is ruining JK's solo career or has attempted to sabotage his career, with many people even requesting an investigation on JK's whole management, saying there's been some serious mishandling of his career. A lot of people, of course, believe that JK would have been able to catapult his career if he would have performed at the Super Bowl. And of course, right, because a lot of singers will do the Super Bowl and then you don't really hear from them again either. So it's not really the end-all be-all. This is something that is very annoying to me and something that the general culture of the world likes to think. There is no such thing, at least in my opinion, as making it. There is not like one thing that if you accomplish, you now have made it. Now everything that you release, anything that you touch will automatically turn to gold. That doesn't exist. There is a constant need for innovation. There's a constant need for working really, really hard. There's a constant need to put yourself out there in order to achieve the same amount of success year after year after year. With that said, just because someone performs at the Super Bowl doesn't mean that that alone will make them super successful. They'd still have to put in the work after the Super Bowl performance, which JK wouldn't have been able to do because he was going to go to the military eventually anyway. So if not right before the Super Bowl performance, definitely after. Either way, it wouldn't have changed much. Maybe historically they can say that he was at the Super Bowl performance, but likely in most of the references to Super Bowl performances, it would just be the main act. So in this case, it would just be the people talking about Usher rather than talking about JK. For example, people don't talk really about Nicki Minaj's Super Bowl, but they'll talk about maybe Madonna's performance where Nicki was featured in. Let me know what you think. Make sure to check out Patreon for more videos. Link down below. Thanks for this lovely comment right here. Love you. Bye.